Hello, hi everyone, and welcome to Aquarian Radio, aquarianradio.com, and I am your host, Janet Lesson, and my co-host today is Alexandra Bernardez, and today we are launching a new show called TGIF, or Thank God It's Friday, Create Paradise Show, and we have some very special guests today, and our first guest is Reinhold Ziegler. And I didn't get to pull up his information because I was having computer problems. Bear with me one moment, everybody, while I call Alexandra and see if I can get her on the show here, because she may be trying to call in and she's having some difficulty. This is our first show together, so please bear with us. Thank you very much for your patience. Here we go. Cross your fingers. And that's okay. We'll get her live here. I'm going to pull up and you can go on there yourself, listeners, and you can check out aquarianradio.com. And kids, Alexandra, I'm going to talk to Reinhold myself. Alexandra, are you there?
Hello?
Hi, you're on the air, Alexandra?
Hey, yeah, hi, welcome, everyone.
Okay. I was going to pull up the bio on Reinhold, but would you like to conduct this since this is kind of your baby here? And tell me
sure.
what you got. You've been doing these shows for a long time. Let's tell everybody a little bit about yourself since you're new to our network here. Alexandra Bernardez, right? Bernardez.
Uh-huh.
Tell everybody about yourself first.
Yeah, well, it's Janet and I have been in touch over the years and supporting. We were just having a brief conversation before the show started. It's like a reunion of Paradise sons and daughters because we know the potential and we'd like to see it manifested of how amazing this planet is. So for me, I've been a peace pilgrim, traveling and focusing on universal peace meditations. I've worked a lot with yeah. And well, I've worked with a lot of wellness centers, and one of our guests today is Dr. Vishan Ali, who travels to India to help with, they're combating diabetes over there. 65 million children and men and women have diabetes. And so Dr. Vishan Ali will be on this evening at 9 o'clock East Coast time. And so I've been a long-time supporter of Dr. Neil Bernard. He started the Physicians Committee of Responsible Medicine with the goal to bring in nutritional standards to help support a healthy generation. And so there's a lot to learn because I grew up with a father that was a physician, and he didn't study nutrition, which is still common for many doctors in our society. So I ended up studying natural healing techniques, and it's been a great journey. And you know, it's a coming back to love, coming back to health and prosperity, and spreading that, you know, the hope to others that they can make the same journey. So I feel like we're in such an exciting time because our other guest today is Reinhold Ziegler, and he is in the process of bringing together an amazing team of peace emissaries to launch the Mother Earth Trust. And I'll let Reinhold explain more about this, but we really are in exciting times and holding the positivity in the light of the recent tragedies that are happening. You know, we wanted to start today's show with a meditation to help send love and light to those who were impacted with this hurricane, and to also dissolve any future calamities through our power of meditation. And so I don't know if we were succeeded in getting our meditation music tonight, but we're going to do one more show on the 22nd.
Let me, but it's got a song to it. Let's experiment with that. I have it queued up here. Are you ready
great.
for me to push the button and see if it works?
Sure. Let me just introduce our third guest, and then we can go into our meditation. We also have someone named Mark Solar. He's in California, and in Santa Barbara, they built it's a rooftop garden. They call it Chapala Gardens, and this might be something you would consider at your Ascension Center, and hopefully many places are starting to do this. Actually, in Norway, they're building huge tower garden type facilities where they're growing hydroponically and aeroponic. So this is pretty exciting, and Mark is on the board with the Waldorf School, or Montessori, where his daughter goes. But it's like a whole nother, new hope for this generation to really thrive. And so Mark is our third guest.
We are surrounded by jungle. We could technically, on our almost an acre of land, grow enough food for, dozens and dozens of people. But right now we need guidance over here in Maui. We have giant trees all around the property, and water that runs through the center of the property. So it's a wonderful vision, and we're just looking for people who embrace the vision and want to really do the work. Unfortunately, people come to mountains, they go surfing, but working the land is another hobby.
Yeah. Well, this is with the they hosted a neat event called Lemuria Remembered, the Ancient Lemurian Times. And what along this journey, I've realized that Mother Earth provides us with so much abundance and with everything to really actually tap into our immortality, to where we can live as long as we would like to live, and live healthy and really vibrant, and tap into really amazing gifts that we have. And so what's neat about these tower gardens, they grow hydroponics and aeroponics inside the hollow earth, and that's one of our foundations for tonight's show, is that the intention of the gathering in this event is that we really can live in peace, prosperity, health, and freedom, and have peace alliances with our brothers and sisters in the hollow earth and our galactic family through the Confederation of Peaceful Worlds. And one way to achieve that is inside the hollow earth, they're already thriving in a paradise-like society because they live in co-creation with Mother Nature, and therefore everything is provided for them. The water is still pristine, and they have food that's so rich in nutrients and bursting with flavor, and it's a very prana-filled environment. And so what's neat about us, looking into hydroponics and these tower gardens, we don't have to labor in the field so much. It's a smart design, and the plants go through a drip system where they're extra oxygenated, so they're super vibrant. And so there's no digging in the soil and no having to push a heavy wheelbarrow or shovel heavy soil. It takes all that labor out, which then frees you up, to focus on your creative things that you like to enjoy. And there's neat technologies, like robots that can clean the house, as far as taking care of the vacuuming and things like that, and just designing homes that will be dust-free. And all these things, we're right on the cusp, I feel, of bringing these forward. And therefore, it will allow people time just to breathe and not feel the financial burden. And then to really zone into what is their joy cord and make that their GPS. So,
great.
Yeah, that's kind of, the vision and the momentum is building. The love frequency around the earth is building. And it's like we're sandwiched between our galactic family above us and the hollow earth and Telosians and Agarthan nations inside the hollow earth. And it's like we just have 10% on the surface and 90% is already paradise. So that's how I keep a positive vision because, sometimes it seems horrendous and there's a lot of voices of love and light. It's like, how do you stay sane in an insane world? And there's a lot of calamities that I think we can really flip the switch and restore harmony, peace, and balance, and then abundance and prosperity for everybody.
I agree.
So I'm great. Yeah, I'm really grateful, Janet, that we're finally doing a show together because Janet and I have been in touch for many years. And
we have.
So, and Hawaii to me represents paradise. The Philippines is paradise. When you look at the land of this earth, the oceans are beautiful. And I was in Sedona for 6 months. It's gorgeous. And so it's just how quickly can we repair it? And again, that's up to us. And I look forward to Reinhold, sharing his vision. Which is pretty awesome. And, if this is a round table, how can we come together and, really put these amazing technologies, into play in a positive light to help inspire and uplift and bring hope to people that they really can turn things around for the better for them.
Right.
To live in a pollution-free, disease-free society might seem not possible, but it really is possible. We have everything to make it happen.
Well, I think we can, if we give people a destiny, they can get there. The main reason why a lot of people can't envision is because they don't have the model. But they're, by exploring extraterrestrial and inner Earth societies that are level 1 and above societies, where the Earth-based population is a level 0 civilization, and we're very unconscious, and we don't take care of our own citizens. But if we can give examples, philosophically, maybe pulling up these ambassadors as they come forth and tell us about their visions, and we can interview people like Reinhold, and he can share the visions of how we do this, then we give our listeners and people out there some place to go, a destination. They can get there if they can envision it, they can imagine it, they can image it and bring it down, pull it into 3D physicality, and then give them doable steps that they can do within their own community, in their own lives. There's something that everybody can do, but if they try to do everything at once, they get overwhelmed. So we break it down, show them the overall vision, and break it down and show them the individual steps and how to get there. So I think that's what that's what I imagine we can do on this show. I'm very excited about today's show. So would you like me to try the meditation now, or are you done with your intro? Do you have more to say?
Sure. Well, I would like to invite the listeners because just to consciously breathe in pure love and not to let the media and what's portrayed in the media drag you into the drama, but, to be able to put a protective shield around yourself. And I think it's so important with, to make every day, your day, count for the best without getting too involved in the drama of the media. And by touching your heart and saying you receive pure love, and then just drawing that in, and you can make a protective shield around yourself so you're in that state throughout the day. And energetically on the call, we can send out this love frequency and see the earth igniting in a unity conscious shift So everyone, because we all are connected, and this is happening, people are waking up in their sleep and throughout their day and coming back into just like this great American full moon eclipse, that we're part of something greater than just we each are uniquely individual, and yet we're also part of something much huge and monumental beyond ourselves, part of the collective. And so it's really awesome to see like children celebrating and dancing, and there's so many good things happening, and those aren't reported. So we can just send out a pure love frequency to those who have been traumatized, and also touch your own heart and allow yourself to receive pure love, and then to let go of anything that's not serving you in pure love. And in so doing, then you can allow yourself to be in your joy in the present. And that in itself is the true victory, because each and every person is a treasure with so much potential for so many things. And I know in our hearts we're all looking forward to a society that supports that creativity and vision and unlimitedness. So, but I just would like to share this love frequency as a pulse to bring comfort to those on the call, and also to send it out. Our love, even a small core group holding peace and holding the advanced paradise planet that we know is possible, is enough. So it's like switching on a light in a dark room. When we flip the switch, it's this unity connection that we know in our hearts. We really are all connected. And we wouldn't knowingly hurt our own planet or our own bodies either. So I know we have all the solutions to help the children. There's many children who are autistic. They're very, very high-level, loving beings. And so many of these children are born 5th level already. So I look to the children and to co-creating, a culture of life, a party, a celebration of life again. And with technologies that make life easier, not more complicated. So, but I'm really grateful to have, I've been introduced to a medical peace team, so I know that traumas of the heart and other kind of heartache, we can heal those traumas, and any kind of dis-ease, we can bring back the life force energy within the cells that got traumatized. So just anyone who's going through a hard time right now, just give yourself extra TLC, treat yourself to a bubble bath or whatever you need, and take out a journal, go to the store and buy yourself a nice journal, and write out your dreams, and then know that loving, trusting mentors will be there for you to help guide you on your journey, because there is a lot of love saturating the planet right now. So we have some music.
Just wait for your cue. Let me pull that up again. Ready? I don't know, but let's try it. Are you ready?
Sure. This is from Artainment, which is a music meditation, the next steps in entertainment channel. It's spelled Artainment, with beautiful music and music videos. So we'd like to introduce a meditation
Here
song.
We go. We'll play. Let's see. Coming through. No, it's not going to work. Okay. We have to get the MP3 somehow. I know there's a way to do that. So it's up on our website. There's a YouTube. You scroll down on AquarianRadio.com on today's show, and you'll see a wonderful YouTube with a beautiful song called I Am Shades of Life. I could try one more thing. I'm going to have to mute my cell phone here. Let me try that. Try one more thing. Okay, hold on. Okay, I don't think you heard that on the show. I just heard it on my speakers. Did you hear it on the show?
No, we weren't able to hear it.
All right, it doesn't work that way. Anyway, yeah. So, back to you, Alexandra. Oh, sweet. I got to hear it on the show. Oh, there we go. I got to mute.
No, we weren't able to hear it.
Okay, there we go.
Is it coming through?
No, it wasn't working. So, alrighty. Back to you, Alexander. Do you have anything more to say, or do you want to bring on our guest?
Sure. Well, we could, if anyone has any questions, we could answer a few questions, and then I can introduce Reinhold.
I didn't launch my chat. Let me go ahead and launch the chat. See if anybody's here.
Okay.
I was doing other stuff. Okay, it takes a moment to launch the chat. But, I'm anxious to hear from Reinhold, so whenever it works for everybody, I'm delighted to talk to him and hear his theories. I was watching, Reinhold, I was looking at one of your videos of your building. It was absolutely gorgeous. I guess it's a model, and it was on Facebook. And I was trying to figure out how to capture it and bring it onto the show page, but maybe it's on YouTube. Okay, so sometimes the chat launches, sometimes it doesn't, but we're giving it a chance here. One of the things that's happening is that Blog Talk and Spreaker are going to be merging because the Blog Talk technology is not perfect and the Spreaker technology is not perfect, so hopefully between the two of them, they'll get all the bugs out of the system, and each system has certain functions that the other lacks. So one of the functions on Blog Talk that doesn't always work for me is launching the chat. So why don't we just continue with talking with Reinhold, and it'll go great. I'm very anxious to talk to him. Go ahead. Introduce Reinhold.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's a blessing to have Reinhold Ziegler join our show, and he is launching the Mother Earth Trust and helping to bring back the sovereignty of Mother Earth, and working with some wonderful, very creative, genius peace emissaries to help restore the sanctity. So I'd like to have Reinhold go ahead and share his vision with us. It's one village at a time, and helping to really create a culture of life and celebration again.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yes. Hello, everybody.
Welcome.
Thank you. I've enjoyed your discussion very well, and what I can do is I can give some information through this that will bring even more clarity to this discussion, if you'd like. I'm going to kind of tell a little story, okay? And some of this I have written down.
Hold, can you talk into the mic a little bit more? You're a little bit muted.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay?
I can hear you. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, you're coming.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah.
Is that
go
better?
Ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to read from a document, and we can stop anytime because it describes what you ladies are driving at. Okay? So it's been prophesied by the nations worldwide that you reach a fork in the road. The Anunnaki prophecy of the eighth fire say, quote, "It will come to a fork in the road. One road will lead to materialism and destruction of all living creatures. The other road will lead to a spiritual way upon which the native people will be standing. This path will lead to the lighting of the eighth fire, a period of eternal peace, harmony, and a new earth where the destruction of the past will be healed." Unquote. So the first road prophesied, which we are on now, is called the road of death. And the second road, which is to be built, is called the road. The operating system, the road of death, is our present-day Keynesian economic system created over the last 200 years during the Industrial Revolution, which profits from war, fear, resource extraction, human capital extraction, hyper-competition, economic enslavement, centralization, separation, and exploitation. This system is old and unsustainable and obsolete. One second here. Now, our path that we are taking on is we're creating a new currency called the Earth Dollar. So we're doing an Earth Dollar token sale very soon, which will be used to build a new road of life. This is the promise of the Earth Dollar, the token sale. Let us all join hands to help light the eighth fire, a period of eternal peace, harmony, and the new earth where the destruction of the past will be healed. That's why I like the emphasis on healing from you all, Alexandra. So the operating system of this new road of life will be an alternative economic system called the New Living Economic System that runs on what's called blockchain, where wealth is generated by caring for Mother Earth and caring for one another. In the living economy, wealth, prosperity, and abundance is increased through peace, love, resource revitalization, cooperation, freedom, and decentralized unity. Now, again, this sounds very flighty for a lot of people, but this is extremely practical, as you will see here. The purpose is to help people to reach their full potential. The Earth Dollar will be the new digital fuel for global citizens of Mother Earth to participate in this new system. Already an estimated $3.2 trillion in assets have been pledged to back the value of the Earth Dollar so the world can transition to the new living economy. By the way, this asset base is coming to us from native nations and tribes all over the world. A lot of them are First Nation nations of Canada. Maybe also people in Polynesia and even in Africa who are pledging the value of their land that we can utilize to monetize this new currency. So the Earth Dollar is the world's first large-scale deployment of an asset-backed currency using the natural capital accounting system. The Earth Dollar is backed by $10 in assets. And by assets, we mean the trees, in the sea, the water, which is extremely precious. Water is now more precious than gasoline. So this is being pledged as a way to back up this new currency. So if one Bitcoin now is $4,000, making many young people millionaires, we feel that we are in good hands. So there's a lot more I can get into about this. So let me go on a little bit further. So the purpose is to support the sustainable development goals of the future as provided by the United Nations. So here again is an explanation. The World seems to be headed downhill, with millions of people still dying every year from poverty and hunger, endless wars, an extractive economy that values profit before planet, climate change, refugee crisis, countries pushing for unlimited, finite planet, and so on. All these problems stem from our broken Keynesian economic system and is global in nature. So the United Nations is proposing a fix for all these problems with a program, Sustainable Goals, SDGs. All the problems listed in the SDGs include poverty, hunger, and climate change are all global in nature and can only be solved in the context of being a global citizen. So we're all going to become global citizens now. The world is already at $100 trillion. The United Nations needs another $100 trillion to the world debt to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, including the end of poverty and revitalizing our planet. We believe increasing the world's debt to $200 trillion may cause even more poverty, since all the countries are already debt-ridden and have budgetary constraints. Therefore, using an existing system to finance the 17 Sustainable Development Goals by almost doubling the world's debt is obsolete and unlikely to work under the old system. We believe the old system is broken and cannot be fixed in the old paradigm. We need a totally new system change and a global reset. We cannot expect the solutions to come from the governments or corporations that caused the problems in the first place. So what's happened is we are in a unique time right now. The internet, for example, and social media has brought an information revolution. With the emergence of social media like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, live stream, Mixi, email, Instagram, and smartphone, the world is more interconnected and interdependent than ever before. The internet and the social media allows the exchange of information almost instantaneously. Major events around the world can be seen in the blink of an eye. Most people have virtual friends in the world, and sometimes even report the news before the news. It's apparent we are already global citizens. So the blockchain is creating a second revolution which will allow the exchange of values without a middleman. The blockchain allows strangers to create social contracts directly with one another without a middleman, such as banks and governments. The most famous use of chain technology is Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency that is gaining in popularity worldwide and is expected to change the banking sector. One Bitcoin is approximately $4,000 US dollars, and is creating billions of additional credits that never existed before. In other words, what we are saying is we have the means right now to create new currency that is not based upon, backed by gold or backed by air, okay, which is what we have now. This new currency is backed by the natural resources of Mother Earth. That's why we are at this point exceedingly wealthy. We are very wealthy with this new currency, and we can connect this new currency to these things that we have to do. There's one more thing that I wanted to also bring in, because these are several revolutions that are happening at the same time. This other one is the conscious revolution. It is obvious that we are not facing an ecological crisis or an economic crisis. We are facing a conscious crisis. All the problems listed in the Sustainable Development Goals stems from the illusion of separation. The illusion of separation can only be healed by people coming together in unity to heal the planet and to heal humanity and all other living species. We are part of an orchestration of species here on this planet. We're a garden planet, and the garden has become a prison for a lot of people. So, getting back to our Earth Dollar token sale during the Earth Jubilee can release trillions of dollars of additional credits into the global economy and also create millions of jobs worldwide. However, just making people rich and creating jobs does not change the illusion of separation. The Earth Jubilee and the Earth Dollar I'll have to explain sometime what the Earth Jubilee really was historically in the Bible. It basically means that every 7 years, all debts are canceled. That was the original, it came out of the Old Testament. So the Earth Dollar token seal also fund the building of the living economic system, a system that can bring fabulous wealth to the planet, including revitalizing indigenous nations, wiping out the national debt of countries. You know, we have to ask, if we're in debt, who do we owe this debt to? Lifting entire nations out of poverty, restoring cities, ending wars, and powering the regeneration and restoration of our Mother Earth. However, this problem of collective consciousness. We believe the enrollment of global citizens into a borderless Mother Earth nation is one of the solutions to raising people's consciousness and healing the illusion of separation. I could go on, and are you getting the idea what I'm saying here?
Yeah, I'd like to talk a little bit about what you're talking about. I've been discussing, this global economic reset, and I call it I heard it called the Gaia Buck. We're looking for a basic minimum needs economy. I get downloads from, I'll go woo-woo on you. I'm a contact experiencer, and I get these downloads, and it's about this whole economic system and how it's going to connect and work. And it's, like I said earlier, level 1 civilization right now. We're thinking in terms of hierarchy and separation and, all these different racisms and prejudices and bigotries against each other. But we really are one big global ecosystem right now. And, we're really kind of codependent on each other across the planet. What would Walmart do without China, what would Amazon do without, goods coming from around the world? So it makes no sense to bomb each other when it's like you're bombing your own clients, the people that you're selling to. So we need to think the entire world, like Michael Tellinger's talking about a boob tube, but I think it's even beyond that. It's like we are one world, and so how do we meet the needs of our citizens? That's one thing they keep telling me, is that we are global citizens, and we need to meet the needs. And Alex Collier, when he met with the Andromedans, they asked him to do a PowerPoint on money, explained it to him, so he went and researched it and did an explanation up on lordship, and they said, well, how is it that you charge people to live in a planet that they didn't agree to get born to in the first place? And he said, are you reincarnation? But think of it in terms of, I'm coming down here and you're charging me to live here, and, you're not even going to feed me. And I was just having this amazing conversation about, refinancing my house and saving my house from foreclosure. And it's like, basically, whoever it is at the top, the powers that be, they don't give a damn about us. They really don't. And it's just appalling. And I think we see a lot of it now with this current situation with Houston and the Charlotte 2 weeks before. And we need to honor, respect, and love all citizens of our planet, regardless of where we originate from and what we look like, and meet the basic needs. And so what are we going to do with those 100,000 homes destroyed, and 5 or 6 people per home? What are they doing with all these people? They have nothing, not even underwear. Back to you, Ryan.
Yeah. Sure. You're understanding very well the contradictions that we live in. It's enough to go crazy. All right. So we have been dumbed down to pay our taxes and go to work every day. So this has all been part of the conditioning that we have been through many generations. And, we're talking about developing a new operating system, and we're doing it with currency, with money that is backed by natural resources. So let me kind of just go a little bit further to reinforce what you have just brought up.
Like, what do we do tomorrow? How do we do this? Because we come from the global and the grandiose, and here's the overview, and that loses people. We need to break it down and do we'll see with that. Go ahead.
Just be patient here. I'm just sort of uncovering the leaves from the body, okay? Yeah,
I'm patient.
everybody.
I would say it's been 26,000 years. I'm patient.
Yeah,
Yes.
everybody's so ready, to be reborn, to redo this. Okay, a lot of people feel like they were born to be here at this time, but the time that we're in has a lot of contradictions. So I'm first describing how this all unpacks, right? And then we have practical blockchain technology. We have credit cards that are basically loaded with new currency, and you can point the finger why we're in the spot. But I think one of the things you can point at is the banks. All right, when you bring up the mortgage of your house, you don't own your house; the banks do. Right?
Right.
And they got it from the title company. And the title company stole it from the native peoples when we discovered America. Okay? So we're living a lie. And what we have to do is we have to understand that and then heal it, make it right. Okay. So just a few more.
Well, it goes even further back, right? I studied things all the way back to pre-Sumerian. I've written, with my husband, we've written 4 books on the ancient aliens and Anunnaki, and it goes back much further than that. There's always Faction A conquering and stealing lands from Faction B, and you'd go all the way back to Babylon, up through Rome, up through Germany into England, and across the British Empire, and et cetera, et cetera. So this is a strategy that's been in effect ever since basically Nanar, one of the sons of Enlil, decided to control the masses through economics, through money, through debt. And so this has been intentionally created, and it goes beyond, coming to America and taking over from Native Americans, or coming to Hawaii and taking over. They came to England and they took over the Picts and the Celts, and it goes on and on and on. Conquered people. Yes.
No, but we can go back, okay? And if you want to do a slight tangent here, for example, when Neanderthal met Cro-Magnon man, they ran away. They were afraid because these were people that were different than they were. And they ran away. And whenever they got together, and this is the old brain working, this is the hypothalamus gland, which either stands and fights or runs away. Okay? So these early people, that's what happened. So Cro-Magnon, who was a more advanced person, basically they met again, and the chief of this group went over with a necklace that was made from eggshells. And he said, without saying words, he says, "Here, this is for you." And he says, "What? You're going to give this to me?" "Yes, I'm going to give this to you." Without words, right? All nonverbal. So he puts it on, and he takes it. It was all these robin egg shells, very multicolored shells. And that was like an evolutionary leap. Why? Because he shared. He shared what he had. Okay? That was like an evolutionary, right? So we still have to go through that in many ways. Let's not leave it right there, but there are many examples that the reason the strife happened, the reason the Khazarians, hit their fellow men and women with shovels, using the tools of agriculture to kill, that was the first, It came from a shortage of some kind, There was a shortage and others had it and they wanted it, and so they fought for it and they killed each other for it, that kind of stuff. So we're at this point where we're trying to make that leap in consciousness and say, look, let's share what we have, okay? Let's, what I'm saying? So that's where we're at, right on the precipice of that.
The lack consciousness crept in, hierarchy, lack consciousness, there's not enough. And when it was more than enough, that's kept in our society as part of this control mechanism that was intentional, which created this whole society that we have now, which is based on hierarchy and patriarchy. So we need to shift that. We don't even honor the feminine. We're not balanced in any way, shape, or form.
I feel you just hit the nail on the head there. You know, coming back into and nurturing the integrity of life and sanctity of life, and that we are part of something much greater, as far as most people on the surface are not aware of the hollow earth or benevolent galactics. They've seen the movies and so on, but what's exciting to me, I like to focus on the solutions and
let
bring
me go
people.
there.
Yeah, that we've got Judy Bybee right now, who's working on a technology. I'd hope she might be able to join us tonight, but it's a technology that was used in the time of Noah, and to help restore the earth at that time. And so she's right on the cusp of bringing this forward. We've got John Roy Searle, who has a Searle effect generator, which is basically a perpetual energy device that you can use in your house, in your vehicle, and to power entire cities. So people will be able to step back, and I love this, that Reinhold is disrupting the bank system because it's an operation that just wasn't working. And then bringing in this free energy also is relevant to helping uplift people from this poverty consciousness, because we really have everything and then some to make sure every man, woman, and child is taken care, more than taken care of.
Yeah.
So,
So let me finish my presentation now.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Otherwise, I'm out of here. Basically, here are some of the things. We're talking about very practical things here now, okay? So, by being a member of the Mother Earth Nation, okay, and it's free, you can join for free. As a resident, an e-resident, you have access to all the products and services offered by Mother Earth Nation. Indigenous nations have generously extended their sovereignty under treaty to create an e-residency to restore our circuit right as global citizens. In other words, if you're tired of being an American, you can join any one of these other tribes, okay, as a resident. You will also get you're a global citizen now, so you get a global passport. Restores Mother Earth. The benefits of preserving, restoring, and revitalizing Mother Earth is that your children and all future generations can enjoy and remain healthy. An automatic income. Many countries who are not war economies, like the United States, Switzerland, Sweden, there is an automatic income for everybody. For children, for adults, it's $1,200 a year. A month, $1,200 automatic payment by the organization, by the state, so that you don't have to grovel. Okay, there's always a little safety net for you. You have money. You always have money. And if you're sick, you go to a doctor instead of walking the street in misery. We have done a lousy job in this country with our health system. So we're talking about a whole new system here called the Living Economic System. The new system will allow you to generate unlimited wealth, prosperity, abundance on the blockchain by caring for Mother Earth and caring for one another. So this is just an introduction. It's a very big subject. We are launching. And if any of you are interested, I don't know how to leave my my address, but if you want to be put on a mailing list, we're doing this right now every day. So please let me know.
Do you have a Facebook page? Do you have like a Facebook group or anything?
Not yet. Okay, we are just doing this. I told this to Alexandra. I said, hey, I'm going to reveal something that we are working on that is not ready for prime time yet. Okay.
Okay, wonderful.
So if any of you want to know about this, I need to find a way to get your email address and your name to me. Okay, I will not use that for any other purpose, but to inform you of this great piece of good news that we have here. All right.
Do you want to give out your email?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, it's Reinhold, REINHOLD, NHOLD at Synergy, SYNERGYII.com.
That's very interesting. My community's name is called synergycommunity.com here in Maui.
Yeah,
So
you guys are meant to connect.
Yeah, that's very ironic. Repeat that one more time.
For your information, my company is called Synergy International, and while I was in Hawaii for 10 years, it was called Pacific Synergy. So that's our name. That's our organization name. Okay, and the mother.
Which island were you on when you were here in Hawaii? Which island were you on?
I was on all the islands. I worked for the Pacific Center for High-Tech Research, and I was at the University of Hawaii as a professor.
Excellent.
So let me just say a few more.
I'm on the island of Maui. Go ahead. Continue.
Excellent. I was going to just say a little bit about who I am, and then I'm momentarily finished in this presentation that I just gave you. Okay. So basically, my name is Reinhold Ziegler. I'm an engineer, a designer, and an architect, and I'm also a pioneer and a permaculturist. So we have been working, we call ourselves technicians of the sacred, because we have been working with integrating natural energy into our buildings. We have been rebuilding landscapes. We are interested in yields, making the land abundant. And we are also, of course, interested in the ocean. So we are the environmental designers that are looking for ways to create abundance on our land and to introduce regenerative technologies. I am just one of them. I'm just one of these people. It's been my life mission. I've been doing this for 35 years. My background is I'm a wind farm developer. We did the first wind farms in California. I came to Hawaii to work on integrated tropical systems. I'm also a specialist at eco-resorts, structuring and building eco-resorts. And what we need to do now on that level is to build healing centers that are eco-resorts. Right. And then we need to tie the cost of the stay at an eco-resort to the life insurance companies to keep their clients healthy, well, and alive. And we have found that, for example, one way to pay for these visits is to utilize the insurance companies. We have a lot of help from European insurance companies who have no problem keeping their customers alive for as long as possible. So there's an interesting blending going on. My current work is I develop with my colleagues in Holland and in other parts of the world. We are doing smart eco-villages and cities now. And I think you saw, Janet, you saw, I think, one of those animations.
Yes, I thought it was fabulous. I saw one of the animations on Facebook, and I'd love to find that somehow and share that with the world, because I got it. As soon as I saw that, it was so well done. It's like, oh, yeah. That's what we can do. Want to share that because it's full of that consciousness. What it's going to take to build a sustainable society, our need and our responsibility to the children. One of the biggest sleeper bombs that we're working with is GMO, because those companies have wrecked our health. We have teenagers who have a body of a 35, 40-year-old now, from all the junk food that they ate, from the intestines which are gone. Okay? So we have a great responsibility to educate people to stay away from these kind of things, to really pursue vibrant health and all that, And then the same is true for the environment. We have discovered from our work that there's two cycles. There's the industrial cycle, where what do you do with all the dioxins and what do you do with all the PVC? Where does that go?
And then there's the organic cycle. And the organic cycle, if you put a toxin into the soil, first of all, we have to define what is soil and what is dirt. Dirt is dead. Soil is living. These are living microbes, right? So if you put something industrial into living soil, you destroy it. So we have to rethink this whole world and see that everything is alive in many ways. Even a rock has some consciousness to it. And let us build our world around that understanding and realize that we're sacred and we're only here for a short time. Thank you.
Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on our show. And I'll do what I can to spread the word and get that picture, that demonstration video that you have out far and wide so people get it. And I'll put your email up on my website so people can contact you.
That is fantastic, okay, because we're all in this together, as we have discussed, and with all the bad news out there, there's a lot of good news too. But like Alexandra said, the good news never gets covered. Or seldom.
Well, it's going to be covered here on this show. So thank you so much for being a part of the launch. And as you wish and you have updates, feel free to contact us and we'll put you back on. And we'll keep this going until we make it happen for all of creation.
Absolutely. You're the angels, okay? You're the angels that are want to make things right, and you want to see. You don't want to hear too much talk. You want to see some action also, right?
Yeah.
Of course, yes. We've had enough talk. I've been a part of this. I'm 63, so it's like I call it shit or get off the pot time. We really have reached that point. Critical mass, and we need some action. So
yes.
If you can help us lead the charge, we're right behind you. we need the leaders like you with the vision to help us activate this. I'm a child of the 60s. We had a lot of visionaries, and then we went through all this materialism stuff, but we're coming full circle, and we need people like you to say, here's how we do it. So thank you so much for all your hard work.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And this is another reason why we're all on the show together is bringing Reinhold, when he and I first spoke, I don't remember, it was maybe a year and a half or so ago, but you had asked me at that time, I really would like to have some galactics come to the table and work hand in hand. And I feel, Janet has a lot of understanding also of how dynamic this earth really is, and that we could work with a galactic council, galactically informed council that understands we have amazing technology, Lemurian technology, that will help us restore the toxicity. In 48 hours, we can clean up the toxicity.
Well, that's optimistic. If you remember what it was, I was part of a group of people that was appointed to solve the Fukushima problem. Fukushima, okay? And now in some 3 years or 4 years now later, the Pacific Ocean is dying. It's dying. And Hawaii is right in the middle of it. This is a tragedy. My daughter was born in Hawaii, and she ended up moving away from there. She was just deadly afraid that that the coral reefs would die and that the water would become radioactive. So I told you at that time, if there is any intervention possible from the Galactic Federation to help solve this problem, please step forward.
Can you tell me specific areas that require? We need to know exactly what areas are most critical.
Japan.
Mm-hmm.
We're dumping 300 tons of radioactive cesium and other materials into the ocean every day. 300 tons. And there's no end to it. And now the tanks where all the water has been stored, they're now rusting and disintegrating. And this is like, it's called an extinction event. If you let this happen too much longer, then you basically you destroy the salmon. Because the salmon, they go out in the ocean for 2 years and they come back to their spawning ground. And we now know that the radiation level of the beaches is higher, much higher than it was 3 or 4 years ago. And
so Reinhold, I've worked with these people too. When Fukushima, what year was that Fukushima happened? That was years and years ago now. There's a Professor McDonald or something. I've met with these people in person. They have the remedies. Kishi, all these people have remedies individually, but we're being blocked. And that's why I look at the extraterrestrial phenomenon. I know it sounds woo-woo and crazy, but it's like you have to look at it like, who wants to see all these people die? Who wants to see the Pacific Ocean die? Why are they blocking these efforts in the name of money? And the conclusion is the only thing that kind of satisfies Occam's razor, what's going on, is that these people are not human. There is a faction that does not want humanity to survive. And so, I don't want to dwell on this, but I think it has to be stated, and we need to address this issue somehow on a higher level with the Galactics. And so I've been, begging and pleading and meditating and praying and saying, we need intervention here because this is beyond something that humanity can resolve. I mean, we can, but we're being prevented from solving our own problems.
Yeah, it's like 2 steps forward, but we in 1 step back, and that's why we have to ask, and the Galactics can then respond, and also the hierarchy and other angelic beings, and they are, and so that's why. If there's something specific, because places I have seen the ocean is thriving again, and so that's why I was wondering, who's measuring what and where, because things are getting significantly better.
This is major, okay? It's really an extinction event, and like we're the frogs in the boiling water. Yeah. The water keeps getting hotter, and we keep taking it until finally we're all boiled to death. So it's like that. Something has to be done, and I'm always aware that the Galactics are not interfering with our evolution, but this is almost like a request.
Yeah,
from
actually,
saying, please help us. Okay. The other thing that I want to bring up: there is now more garbage in the ocean than there are fish. I mean, that's disastrous.
Wow. That's a sad statement.
We have a gyre the size of Texas in the North Pacific, and now they just found one in the South Pacific. And this is just debris from plastic bottles. You see birds laying on the beach. You open them up, and you see bottle tops inside their stomachs. We have got to do something.
This is. Well, again, it comes back to how we started our show with the conscious shift, understanding that everything, why we're here, I believe, is to make the conscious shift, and it's an empowering shift back into unity consciousness. And definitely we have the galactic support. They're not stepping back as far as helping us remove the forces that were causing the destruction. So that's a good thing, that we're having this call, that we're stepping forward. We know Judy Bybee, we know Cyril, we know Keshi, and the majority of the people want peace. There's no question about it. And these other entities, we don't want them going somewhere else and doing the same thing either. So it's us even just having the show and doing the meditation to say that it's not acceptable, and we ask for divine intervention. on behalf of humanity and Mother Earth. And so, picturing the entire globe in a force of love and light, and that they would come in and intensify that together with us to protect the water, protect the food. And there is something called divine healing codes that are gifted from Divine Mother and Archangel Raphael. And I look through these pages. I mean, it's pages after page after page, and you're just like, this is part of the insanity of the culture, that all of these things are going on. And so that's, again, why I'm grateful that your team, Reinhold, is bringing forward a way that we can disrupt the banking system. I know, and I interviewed with Dr. Ruja Ignatova's team, and so I just support your efforts with Godspeed. And, of course, we'll do our part to back what you're doing. So, but anything, specific, you can say, that you receive, accept, appreciate the galactic intervention to help clean up, and then you have to let them know exactly where. I have followed planes that were sending out chemtrails, and energetically I can clear that chemtrail. So,
you know one thing, this is all great, and we need that kind of intervention, all right? Did you know that we now know, for example, that the drought in California was caused by chemtrail dumping for 5 years over the Pacific? Okay.
Yeah.
Now
that was one of the most fertile lands, California.
Oh yeah, yes, but that's where I am. And did you know that they have recently discovered that somebody reseeded that hurricane in Texas?
Right.
No, say that again. What did they do with the hurricane in Texas? Say that again.
They reseeded it. They added humidity to it. It was usually a hurricane has about maybe 18 inches of rain, coming through. The Texas hurricane was 55 inches of rain.
Right. So who is doing this? That's what we need to really, and I know there are people that know this information. I know people that they have these answers. Like, who are we fighting? There's people in the secret space program, whistleblowers, they're coming forth. But, we're just stating it here, but somebody, we need to stop this from happening, and we need to know who and what we can do about it. And that might get some of us killed. I'm not sure what to do, but we're all dying. You're either going to be like fast or die slow. As the moment you're born, you have a death sentence. You have an expiration date, which is also another thing that's bullshit, because we have the potential for extreme longevity. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years, and this whole system is overlaid into us that we have to die between 120. I don't know anybody that's 120, but it's a lie. We know from the genetic decoding and the Human Genome Project that we have the potential to live 500,000 years. That's what my friend Dr. Aubrey de Grey said in his it wasn't his TED Talk, but I talked to him personally. He said, no, it's not just 120 years. Right now, half of the population alive right now has potential of living to be 1,000 with the technologies that they've uncovered. And they want to kill us off because of we're overpopulated. Well, we can go to the stars. We have technology to go to the stars to colonize the planet.
We're not overpopulated.
Yes.
We're not overpopulated. Right.
That's sort of the natural possibility. Okay, but when you start messing with the genes, it's like removing. An analogy I just heard is like somebody is taking our alphabet, right? Which is somewhat 31 letters or 32 letters. Is that what it is? I think it is, right? And they're getting rid of 6 of them. Okay? So the glyphosates, for example, they're using one of the DNA strands to. So once you've destroyed the gene pool, then this GMO story doesn't go away. It will take 3 generations or 50, 60 years before we can begin to get rid of it out of our gene pool. See what I'm saying? It's the kind of stain that doesn't go away. It's
well, that's
like,
where I can give you guys a better report, because I work with, there's a remote scalar energy technology, and all we require is a photograph, and we can do a nutrient chakra balancing, so it's like re-energizing the cells to fill them with life force energy. And so I think we've all on this call agree we've had enough. We're asking for galactic intervention and to bring forward these technologies that have been suppressed. And it really won't take that much time. And so this is something Janet and I discussed. We would really like to have a galactic round table. And all of us have affinities with, like you mentioned, your friend that is helping on board a ship off planet. And so they are presently beaming a lot of love energy to the earth, and it is increasing. So I feel like we're all doing our part to the best of our ability, and just to keep anchoring in this light that things are shifting. But we have technologies to quickly repair human cells, tissues, organs, glands, even, recalibrate your heart to a healthy heart again. So I feel like we're right on the cusp of bringing these forward. I look forward to our...
Go ahead, Reinhold. Go ahead, your turn.
Alexandra, this is probably true, okay? But the way that you get respect in this world is if you can verify this in a controlled situation. Like, I know of a fantastic university over in Honolulu right now called Quantum University.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to bring this to Quantum and say, we would like to set up a situation where you monitor a remote healing event, you monitor it, and you verify that this really happened, that somebody was healed by a healer looking at a picture using scalar energy. If that can be verified, here we go. It's not just your word against everybody else, because you have such a, saying we have a biased American Medical Association. It doesn't believe anything you say. We know we can cure cancer, but you're threatening an entire pharmaceutical industry.
Well, that's why the release of NESARA is so important, because if people feel they have to profit off of someone else's sickness, that's a sickness in itself. That they're making money off of keeping people sick. It is not medical care. And I believe in, it's become a industry. So I believe in a wellness society, and I feel that there is a moral obligation. These people have to own up for what they're doing, So, but the release of the NESARA funds, I wish every American was aware of what NESARA is, and which means that they won't have to be stuck in a system that is clearly not working. It's not effective. So what's neat about technology is efficiency wins. The most efficient technology is the one that's going to be chosen. So in this case, we're coming back to love, and and know, like, Mother Earth is a sentient planet, and all the creatures on this earth are her children. So, but it is exciting. I mean, if you can introduce us, this Quantum University, I will introduce them to Tom Palladino. He can cure AIDS and malaria with a photograph. Yeah. So I'd love to have them contact Tom, and he would like to meet you, Janet.
It takes somebody else. It takes an agent to bring that together, And then here's the second part, okay? There are professional scientists who are basically given contracts by Monsanto, and here's what they want him to prove. They tell the researchers what the results are that they're looking for. This is not real science anymore, okay? And if they don't do that, and they become, whistleblowers, they lose their job. They get no more grants. So people who have a life, you know what I'm saying? It's very bad. It's a very bad situation with these pharmaceutical companies, for example.
And yet, they're starting to prescribe fruits and vegetables. Our next guest, and I hope you'll stay on the call, Reinhold, because I'd love for you to meet Dr. Vishan Ali. He is a nutrition specialist from the Physicians Committee of Responsible Medicine. And
yes, that's fine. He's a colleague.
Yeah.
He's a colleague. Okay? I'm just saying to you that if you really want to get some results, then set up a demonstration where galactic forces can demonstrate a healing event that has been documented. Then you have it. Okay? And what we're saying is we are going to have quite a bit of money to pay for those researchers, to provide grants, to verify these things. Because if money's the problem, that's always what the problem is. Well, we don't have the money, You go to a university, you want them to do a research project for you. Well, we are supported by, National Science Foundation, and we're supported by DARPA, and those are the guys who pay our salaries. So, that's how it is. It's sad but true. So, okay, I'm not trying to completely dampen what you're saying, but really, if we can demonstrate it, by demonstration, it means you can replicate it. If you can do it once, it can be considered a miracle. But if you can do it twice or 3 times, it's a fact. Okay, it's a scientific fact. What was a hypothesis is now a real event. Okay, so that's how we get this.
Yeah, I'd love to discuss what we can do with the context that you already have as far as working with the indigenous nations to bring forward a medical peace team. And you can have them send us a montage with up to 100 million photographs, and we'll scan those photographs and energize their cells to help repair them from the damage of pollution in the air and water and the GMOs. So, that's what I would present to you on the table is, can you help bring a million photographs to the table?
I would see one of these events really demonstrated, because I don't want to do that to these people. I don't want to give them any false hope, okay? We have got grandmothers up on the Northern Cheyenne in Wyoming who are afraid to go to the hospital because they have diabetes, and they're afraid that they're not going to come back, okay?
Well, that's actually... that's a legitimate concern on their part. They know better.
Okay? No, they don't know better. They're eating, when it's time to eat, they make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich from rations provided by the government. Food stamps.
They know better than to go to a hospital, because most of these hospitals, they don't really treat the patient. They're not treating the body, mind, spirit, and the integrity of the patient. They're treating 10% of the symptom, and that's where you mentioned the healing centers. And so we have a healing team that's willing to work with your healing wellness centers and your healing centers.
Yes, we're designing and building them now. I'm just saying to you, if you have healers that really want to serve, then we want to know what they need. What do they need? Do they need to get paid?
I think that would be... Yeah, well, Tom, as far as this nutrient chakra balance, it is a free program. And I said to him, but if you're going to, I think you and Tom ought to have a conversation, Reinhold.
Yes.
Because so he's currently offering it for free on YouTube, but I felt like that's not really efficient.
No, what I'm trying to say is we need to, we have clients, okay, and we will also have money to pay for these healers. Go there, pay for their travel there. Mm-hmm. You have to prove to us that this really works. Give us somebody who has gone through this, okay, and says, yes, it definitely works without a shadow of a doubt, okay? What do you call it when somebody gives their... Anyway, it's got to be the sure thing. Okay, it can't be anything. It's got to work, and because it's a life and death matter. And we know that it's not enough to rebalance the chakras. When you put garbage in your body every day, that's where the problem is.
We require an advisory council that does recognize the water doesn't belong to anybody, and the air, all of us are responsible for the air quality and the water. And this lady, just to deal with this one incident of the lady with the diabetes, it is proven in 7 to 30 days, type 1 and type 2 diabetes can be reversed simply with nutrition. So that means Dr. Ali is coming on next. There's 65 million people with diabetes in India, but every one of them can be cured, as well as this lady, with proper nutrition.
What I'm saying to you is it's not just a miracle healing that we need. We need a change in lifestyle, in courses on nutrition for these people. It's so ironic. I mean, I'll take you to one of these sometimes. Okay, I'll take you to an Indian reservation so you can see it for yourself. They're all talking about. They all have their biggest worries that they're all dying of diabetes. And then you go outside at the tribal council meeting, and there's a big candy machine out there. Right. And they all stop and put candy out. So, and they wonder why they have diabetes. It's so ironic.
Well, we also have Mark and Janet and I. We were talking in the beginning about the new old technology of hydroponic, aeroponics, and they actually this company makes something called Juice Plus. It's a powder. But they have chewable candies, but these are actually healthy candies. So we really live in a time, I feel like it's a great time to be alive, because we're right on that cusp of finally bringing these things forward. And there's so many incredible crystal children and brilliant children. I feel like they're going to have wonderful ideas. We can quickly clean up the oceans. And I just feel like things are going to shift pretty quickly, and again, I just love for us to really come to the table, which would be for me to be able to introduce the medical peace team, if you're already stepping forward with some of these, the newer nations.
We're already doing it architecturally and otherwise, You've seen our work.
Yeah, awesome. Mm-hmm.
So,
the work is awesome. I just wanted to point out that, we need a global re-education on food. At the moment we're born, we're addicted to it's intentional. The sugar industry came in about the year 1000 with the plague, and it anchored genetically the plague. And that's what went down a lot of Europeans around the year 1000. So, and then they subsequently, these are all tactics to calm the population and shorten our longevity. We have the potential in our DNA, but it's been shut off. We have 256 strands of DNA that have been shut off. And some of them are connected with longevity. And, anyway, I don't want to take up all the time here with that. We could go on and on forever. Maybe we should shift to our second guest. I don't know what time you told him that he was coming on. Alexandra, what time are we fixed?
Yeah, if you can, he asked if you would call him to bring him on, and Dr. Vishon, he travels. He's presently in Washington D.C. with Dr. Neil Bernard, so he would also be part of our new advisory council, and the Tree of Life Rejuvenation Center. These things are already proven. And so are the abilities of the people I bring to the table. So I'm just I'm ready to take the next step.
Well, what I'm saying to you, for example, if you want to practice medicine in the United States, you have to have a resident doctor supervise the facility. Okay. We have these centers. Another possibility would be to do it on a sovereign piece of land, like these Indian nations. You don't need that. You don't need that there. Okay. Another one is move these healing adjuvants offshore. You move them to Mexico or other places where they have people there too, and they're wonderful. Somehow you feel like the doctors are not as good coming from Europe as they are here. Stuff like that. So anyway, it's a problem because if you don't have this certification, these medical establishments will shut you down.
Well, the ethics of the Chinese, because the Chinese used to honor the physician's role in keeping the patients well, and they even monetarily provided that as an incentive to keep your patients well. So
the Chinese are really open. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So we go to China, okay? But I'm saying if you want to do
how I feel.
you have to be very, very careful because they'll shut you down. And there are many doctors who have cured cancer and they have been shut down. There's a Dr. Forsyth up in Reno who's a board-certified doctor who cured cancer, stage 4 cancer. They came to his house with a machine gun and put him on the ground because you will stop human growth hormone.
We made a quantum leap. I mean, I don't really think it's appropriate to bring some of these things up because we have made a quantum leap now. We're moving forward in the full. The divine feminine has been anchored in the planet, and there's certain activities that are not acceptable. So I just feel that it's important not to get caught up into the drama of the media and to focus on the solutions. The Physicians Committee is doing wonderful work. And so I feel like we have made the leap in consciousness. We've reached a certain peak point. The majority of the world's leaders have come to the table, and it's enough. And I feel that...
Well, I understand both your points. I just want to interject here. I understand both your points. We do get the stories of people that are practicing, and the American Medical Association will come in and crack down and say, you're not licensed, you're not doing things according to our system, and that's the whole dilemma. So we have two factions. We have this faction that, supports consciousness. We have humanity that's divided that way as well. But there are those people that are invested in the current system. I'm not just talking about the powers that be and the 1% and the Illuminati, but the whole support system. They're not going to want these hospitals shut down because their jobs depend on that. So they're all in a club, a big old club, which supports everything from the individual jobs to the pharmaceutical industry to, there's giant cancer clinics. My girlfriend and her daughter just got out of a cancer clinic, and she said it was so rich. There was so much money in this clinic, and there were all these people employed. So we need to figure out what will these people do if we shift paradigm from this current system, which is basically war-based and disease-based and lack-based and hierarchy-based and patriarchy-based. How are we going to shift and take these people from one paradigm to the next? Now, we have an opportunity here to show up better, higher, fuller, more consciously, because we have the 4th largest city in the United States devastated, and hundreds of thousands to millions of people instantly homeless. And we have a new vision that, but for the grace of God, therefore, but for the grace of God, go I. That could be any one of us in any given day. Now, we need to show up as a whole global society here and support something, a different paradigm. We got to do it different now. And I'm going to go call the next person. We could go on and on, but this is a wonderful topic. But I do want to honor our next guest because we gave him a time, and he may be calling. So I'm going to go call him into the show.
301.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
Well said, Janet. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Alexandra.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much for all you're doing.
Now, he may be here. Let me see if one of these numbers are him. No, I'm going to call him. You keep talking to our people while I make this call. Okay, dear?
301 is the area code.
Yeah, I've got the number. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I was really impressed with Grassroots and the documentary, Reinhold, that you recommended. I did watch it, and and they're making progress by just working within their own neighborhoods and getting people, because people are consciously conscious. So I felt that was a positive film that you shared. So I appreciate that.
Oh, sure. No, the problem is that, and we fought this, okay, as citizens, we fought this. We wanted to see food labels. So if you're going to sell us some of this GMO food, please label it on the outside. This contains corn fructose corn syrup, which causes obesity. That's why we're also getting so chubby by these sugars, these fructose sugars, which the body doesn't know what to do with. So it just creates this lardo kind of storage of fat. I got one too, So
right.
It's a crime not to label that on food. Why? Because we're the consumers. So the thing that really comes through from that whole series is we are consumers. By what we buy, we send a vote to those companies. So if you're going to feed us crap, we're not going to buy it anymore. And hopefully you'll go down like that, That's our power as people, as consumers. And the sad thing is that the Food and Drug Administration and the EPA has let companies like Monsanto, who are criminals, these are evil companies. They developed Agent Orange, sucrose, saccharin, all of them. They developed all of them, and they're protected by the Food and Drug Administration. That's a crime. They're spending our tax money.
But we can't.
I
feel
difficulty.
We are not
give you heads up. I'm having difficulty getting our next guest, but we do have 2 callers on hold. How about we ask them if they have any questions? Is that okay?
We also have Mark. Sure, Mark Solar could be one of those callers. He's calling in to introduce the Tower Gardens.
Okay, let me click on these 2, and we'll see who they are. So, one moment. Aloha, caller at 843. Do you have a question for us? Hello? Okay. Guess not. Let me try the next person.
Mark ought to be coming on.
Hello,
hey, I
caller
heard a beep.
At 805. Hi. Who do we have
I heard
here?
A beep.
At 805.
This
there
is
we
Mark
go.
Sola from Santa Barbara, California.
Hi, Mark. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Well, thank you so much.
Great.
Pardon me?
And we're glad to have you here. I'm going to hand you over to Karen, and she's going to talk to you while I try to get Dr. Z on the other phone. So I'm going to mute myself and see what I can do about finding our other guests. But Karen, you're not Karen, Alexandra. I'm sorry, Karen was my other co-host. I've got a new co-host, Alexandra. This is our first week together. Alexandra, will you please talk about Mark, have him tell us who he is, and I'll go see if I can get Dr. Z, okay? Take it away.
Will do, yeah. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you.
Well, we're connecting across the globe here, the East Coast to California. Both Mark and Reinhold are in California, and Janet in Maui. So before you came on the call, we did a meditation for world peace and to send love energies to those who were caught in this calamity. And yes, and so if you just introduced a little bit about your background, and I also mentioned that you have a young daughter who's you're part of the board at her school and the Chapala Gardens in Santa Barbara. So it's nice to kind of shift to some positive solutions. Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a little bit of I'll give you the 10-cent tour of who I am. I grew up in East Harlem in New York City, and graduated college in 1986 in New Jersey with a degree in physics. Worked in New Jersey until 1999 when I was called really to move out to California. They've been calling me for a long time. I have an opportunity that brought me out here to Santa Barbara, California. Big difference from New York. I don't know if any of you have been to Santa Barbara, but it is a little piece of paradise. It's a bubble in California that is between the ocean and the mountains, and it is nearly always perfect, except today where it's 99 degrees. It's very unusual. And when I got here, I said, okay, this is where my life is going to start, and it did. Met my wife salsa dancing, got married, had a beautiful daughter in 2005. She's 12 years old now, and she's a student at the Waldorf School of Santa Barbara. And subsequently got divorced, so I'm a single dad, but still have a great supporting relationship with my daughter's mother. And back in about 2008, I got introduced to a company that was all about healing our population, creating healthy habits, getting more fruits and vegetables and plants into people. Because I'm sure your earlier callers had talked about the damage that our diet is doing to our health and our economy and our planet. Just the water needed to create meat is astounding. The carbon emitted just by a pound of beef is crazy. So it is really an unhealthy food, not only for humans, but for the planet itself. So I got really interested in plant-based health and plant-based eating, especially when I had my daughter. I would go to the farmer's market, buy bitter greens, grind them up, and put them in her rice cereal. So she got an early taste, for eating vegetables early on. And today, she'll grab some raw kale off my tower garden and just chow it down. What 12-year-old girl do you know who eats raw kale? All right? Yeah, so it is really a process to get there. And back in about 2011-12, the company that I work with, the Juice Plus company, bought the Tower Garden. And if you just Google Tower Garden or go to our website, even the YouTube channel, you find all kinds of things about it. And it was invented at Epcot, at Walt Disney World, by a gentleman named Tim Blank, who was a project manager there. And he took this out of Epcot and tried to market it. Brilliant scientist, rotten salesperson. And then one of the leaders in our company identified him down in Florida, a woman from Eustis, Florida, and introduced the product to our company's president. And he understood it right away. He got it. And we took on the Tower Garden, one of our few products. And I was part of the beta test team where we played with the Tower Garden for a year in California before it was available to the public to really discover it, find out how it behaved, how to use it, what its quirks were. We suggested a couple of changes to the design, which they made, and then we started marketing it. Now, for your listeners who don't know, the Tower Garden is a self-contained vertical aeroponic growing system for growing food without soil on your patio, your backyard, your rooftop, wherever you want to put it. It's generally an outdoor appliance, and it uses 10% of the water and 10% of the ground of growing outside. And the University of Mississippi did a study a few years ago that showed that it actually grows food 30% faster, 30% higher yield with equivalent nutrient density as best practice organic farming. So it's a valid tool, a great tool for growing healthy vegetables. And I'll hold it there for you to ask me any questions about it. Are you there?
Well, there's Reinhold. Would you?
Yes, I'd like to know what is in nutrient solution A and nutrient solution B. What is that?
All right. So the Tower Garden uses a solution called Tower Tonic, which was developed between Epcot and NASA. It took them 3 years to develop it, and it's designed to feed plants and the astronauts to eat them, originally for trips to Mars. And it is a ionic solution of 100 earth and sea mineral salt. So that's all it is. It's just microminerals in an ionic solution. And it's tested to be absolutely free of herbicides, pesticides, and toxic heavy metals. So it's totally clean. It's essentially presenting the nutrients to the plant in a silver platter that it needs to build its own vitamins and nutrients. So it goes way beyond the 16 that the plant needs, what makes the nutrients dense. Somebody please put your phone on mute. I can hear dishes in the background.
Somebody mute this, make a noise, please. I've got just to give you a heads up, Alexandra and everybody, Mark and Reinhold. I finally got Dr. Z on, and we're down to 20 minutes on the show. Let me just say, pull him on, let him talk for a few minutes, and then we'll go round table until we play out the time. Okay. Would that work for everybody?
Excellent.
Okay, here we go.
Hi, welcome.
1 second. Wait. It's not video. Here it goes. Sometimes it's delayed. 1 second. Take it away, Alexandra.
Welcome, Dr. Vishon.
Hi. Is
Hi.
it Alex?
Yes.
Great. Thank you for having me on in the show.
Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure. Pleasure is all mine.
So it's a pleasure to introduce you to Janet Lesson. She's co-hosting from Maui, Hawaii, and we have Reinhold Ziegler, who's stationed in California, preparing to launch the New Earth Trust. Very noble endeavors, and he's helping bringing in responsible stewardship for the land and the water, and healing centers. So it's timely, I feel, for you to meet. And then Mark Solar came on, and he is bringing forward the Tower Gardens, these aeroponic vertical garden systems with Juice Plus, which is 100%. It's a plant-based company, very proactive in supporting a Healthy Kids program as well as adults.
Wow.
So we've got some great, good synergy going.
Very nice. Excellent.
So if you would just introduce yourself to the core team tonight.
Yeah. So I am working with the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine for the last 5 years, and my main work in the Physicians Committee is to do the outreach work in India, where we all know that type 2 diabetes has taken a terrible toll. And my job is to organize educational events in India and collaborate with the local organizations there and spread the word about plant-based eating and avoiding flesh foods and dairy, which is a big concern in India because dairy is so much integrated into their culture. So along with that, I'm also doing some work with the Native American population here in the U.S. With Dr. Caroline Trapp, and that work requires also traveling to like Santa Fe, Albuquerque, and collaborating with local health professionals and working with them, and again bringing the traditional diet back into the plate. Whether it's Native American or Asian Indians, we want the diet which has been forsaken now. We want it to be back because that's a healthy diet. That's a low-fat, plant-based diet which was traditional, but then all the Western habits came into place. So yeah, that's my brief introduction. But before that, I have a background in molecular biology. I did a lot of research using animal experiments, especially mice, and then I realized that that's not the way I want to go, and I always felt bad using animals in research, and I thought that we are just using them as tools, and then I started searching about organizations who do ethical research, and that's how I came in touch with the Physicians Committee. And I wrote to Dr. Neil Bernard about my interest in working for the organization and along with the molecular biology background, what I can contribute to the organization. So that's how I came in touch with the Physicians Committee. And then after spending a year as a research fellow. Then I moved to the nutrition team where I'm looking after the India program. So I got my PhD from Germany. I had my postdoc from Italy and University of North Carolina. So a bit of international experience, which helps a lot, of course, understanding different cultures and backgrounds and dietary patterns. And here I am.
All right.
Is it Brian?
Yeah, does anybody have a question for Dr. Z?
Dr. Z, I like that.
Yes,
Dr.
well,
Z,
Dr. Z, that's what Dr. Z shouldn't. But,
yeah, no, actually,
Dr.
that's okay
Ali.
because a lot of people, they call me Dr. Z. I go with the Z.
Yeah, Dr. Z. Z. Yes, I like it. Does anybody have a question or anything you want to put on the table? We have about 10, 11, 12 minutes. So,
well, Dr. Z, this is Mark Solar in Santa Barbara, California. How are you?
Doing well. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing roasty toasty out here in California right now. But I wanted to ask, are you familiar with the work of Dr. Richard Du Bois?
Dr. Richard Du Bois. No, not at all.
He was one of the pioneers in the 80s in AIDS research. He was head of the Georgia division of the AMA. And one thing that he discovered, this new disease, he was working on the new disease that came up in the 80s, eventually called AIDS. And talk about plant-based eating. One of the things that he connected the dots was that the patients that he was treating who ate the healthiest, meaning a plant-based diet, and the vegetarians, were the ones who survived the longest and actually were able to bear the treatment the longest. And,
wow.
And when he's one of our mentors in the Juice Plus company. I don't know if you're familiar with our organization, but our organization is determined to increase the health of our nation and the world by promoting a plant-based diet, and getting more fruits and vegetables than people they can possibly eat. So I'm wondering if you could just address the impact of plant-based eating on chronic illness and systemic inflammation in general.
Yeah, certainly. So, we PCRM have done their a landmark study, I think in 2006, where we did the study on women who were trying to lose weight and they were overweight after menopause, and they were trying they have tried all kinds of different diets, but nothing was working for them. So we recruited somewhere around 50 women, and this study was before I joined PCRM, so I know because we published the study. And what we found is just there were two. It was a randomized controlled trial where we divided the population into two equal groups. One group was asked to follow a plant-based diet, keeping the oils low, and the other group was just eating a regular diet. So just in 14 weeks, we found that there was an average 6 kg weight loss and 2-inch drop in waist measurement, and even their insulin sensitivity increased. And we followed them for not only for just 1 year, we followed them actually for 2 years, and we found that the weight loss was consistent just by following a good diet, plant-based diet, keeping the oils low. That was powerful enough to bring down the weight. So this we published this in one of the peer-reviewed journals, which inspired us to do another study on type 2 diabetic people, because we thought, okay, it's good for the weight loss, but also it was able to increase insulin sensitivity. So we thought, okay, wait a minute. If it is able to increase insulin sensitivity, then can it handle insulin resistance, which is the first symptom among type 2 diabetes patients. So PCRM then recruited around 100 people with type 2 diabetes, A1C in the range of 8, and again we divided them into two equal groups. The first group, the intervention group, was asked again to follow a plant-based diet. The other group was asked to follow just regular diet, controlling, that many percentage of fats, that many percentage of carbohydrates, the regular way of people deal with any kind of dieting. So again, we found that even for type 2 diabetes people, this diet alone was able to bring down their A1C by 1.2 percentage points, and which was way bigger impact than any other. Even the commercial drugs are unable to bring down A1C in such a short duration of 22 weeks by 1.2 percentage points, and we found that as long as they remained on a plant-based diet, they could keep the A1C low for up to 2 years, like the time till we followed them.
Isn't that amazing? Because the one thing is, the diet is so much more effective than drugs. But
exactly. That's the whole
point. The one thing that people like you and me are fighting is that food is politics and food is business, and there's no profit in people eating fruits and vegetables. So that's why the message that you and I are trying to deliver has got to get out directly to the people, because the business-controlled media and basically the agribusiness, rather the pharmaceutical business, won't let it get out. And we can talk about all the scientific studies we want. I mean, the proof is there.
Exactly. I think you're totally right.
No?
Yeah. What I was telling is that you are totally right, because there is so much science now, and we have all the evidence that this diet is good. And when it comes to our recommendations, we are not recommending any pill. All we are saying is, you don't have to buy anything from us. Just go to the grocery store, go to the green section, get the fruits and vegetables, grains and legumes, and you're all set.
That's right.
So, and the pharmaceutical companies, of course, will not like it because
there's no magic behind it. There's no magic behind it. And
there is no magic, yeah. It's just as simple as that.
What I love about these... Oh, sorry. The Terror Garden...
Yes, Dr. Z, I would invite you to... one of the things that we're trying to do in my organization is to bring fruits and vegetables to people's doorstep, to actually grow them on their doorstep. And that's using the tool called the Tower Garden. And another thing that we have is 40 fruits and vegetables in capsules. I don't know if you're familiar with the product Juice Plus, but I'd invite you to look at the clinical research on the Juice Plus website. It's an amazing collection of 33 gold standard studies. But I think somebody who knows how to read scientific studies will appreciate. And that is just a further collection of the proof of what a plant-based diet does.
Yeah.
And I really have to honor Alexandra for putting this together to keep spreading that word. Eat plants, eat plants, eat plants.
Yeah, that's true. That's the whole message, yeah. And what we are doing is that we are taking this message to other countries where we know which is a big problem. So we are taking this message to China. We are taking this message to India, to Spanish-speaking countries. So
the problem is that the Western diet is associated with wealth and prosperity.
Yeah.
But the Western diet is bringing death.
You know that do you know this Seventh-day Adventist population?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and there is do you know about a study where they just compare the diet of Seventh-day Adventist people, and they found that, and it was a big study which where around 60,000 people participated, and it was an observational study, and they found that those people who were following a plant-based diet had the lowest body mass index and lowest type 2 diabetes prevalence. So nothing just like the way people were eating, so they just compared them, and they saw look, the result is right in front of you. We have not done any kind of intervention. We have not advised them on anything. It's just we observed them and we found this evidence, and it's a wonderful study. I love it.
But then again, there's no profit in healthy eating.
No profit in healthy eating.
That is the challenge of the plant-based eating community, and people like you and me who want to get the word out there.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of work because we are fighting against a lot of entrenched business interests.
I agree. Yeah, and we will continue to fight. We will change whatever it takes to change. We are fighting with the dietary guidelines to recommend healthy eating, and we got it fixed a little bit in the last 2015 dietary guidelines. We will do whatever we can because if the message is clear, the evidence is there, we will leave no stone unturned to take it to the public and let them know that, look, this is all simple. Just eat right and stay well and stay healthy.
Alexandra, I would invite you to email the Dr. Z the paradise.juiceplus.com website in the clinical research section. I think that'll be a great collection of research articles to add to his weapon belt of healthy eating.
Certainly, I'd be happy.
Yeah,
to.
Please, it will be a pleasure.
And also just in terms of the Tower Garden of ultimate localvore of people actually growing their food on their patio or balcony, where they are the farmer. They're in ultimate control of their food, and it's totally clean, beyond organic. And the thing about children, when children grow food, they eat it. And what a great way to inspire healthy eating in children by helping them grow their own food on the patio, even if they live 15 stories up in the air.
You're right. Actually, I have two kids, and Alexandra has told me about these tower gardens, and so far I have not done that, but I really wanted to do this for my kids because my daughter, she eats like, okra, just like raw. She just grabs some okra and she will grab it.
I invite you to go to the paradise.towergarden.com website. And there is more information there that you could ever use. And I would love to have a conversation with you or any other listeners about the Tower Garden, how it could possibly fit into your healthy eating lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely. And I know this website Alexandra has mentioned to me a few times, and I know it's a beautiful thing, but I think I really wanted to see what you offer and maybe try to do something in our house with the kids.
Yep,
totally. They would love it.
Yes, Alexandra, please forward my information to the doctor. I'd love to have an offline conversation with him.
Certainly.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask a question. This is Michael Ziegler.
Thank you. Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike. We can hear you.
Okay. Doctor, nice to meet you. Glad to hear you went to school in Germany. I'm German myself. And,
great.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
What part are you? Where'd you go to school?
So I did my doctorate from Frankfurt, Universitätsklinikum Goethe University.
Okay. Ich habe studiert Deutsch an der Goethe-Institut in Freiburg.
No, nicht so gut. Ein bisschen Deutsch.
Gut genug. Ich verstehe dich ganz gut. Danke. So I have a difficult question, but I think you're appropriate to ask. We're doing projects right now in the Himalayas. I am an architect and engineer and permaculturist. And so we have heard of disaster of Monsanto bringing, glyphosate and also bringing genetically modified grains, seeds to India. It caused a tremendous travesty. Remember?
It's horrible.
Horrible, totally.
Yeah, something like 150,000 farmers killed themselves because of the what happened to them.
Oh, I know. It was, I think, two or 3 years back, something like that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So we are paying attention to the seeds, the seeds from Monsanto, the patented seeds, and it needs to be said that we have to be very careful. Even in the Tower Garden, I hope you don't put in any of those Monsanto seeds in that, okay? Because and this brings me again to your work with Native Americans. You know, I mean, we now have seen that the corn crop of Mexico has been compromised by Monsanto. The original crop from Mexico, right? And it's causing genetic damage, which might be around for 3 generations, mostly in the infants, in the creation of what's called leaky gut.
Leaky gut syndrome, yeah.
Yeah. So you're aware of that, I think, yeah?
Yes.
We're trying to deal with it because it's just a travesty, you know. Especially our young people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, remember all those times when we watch people eat their Doritos and their fast foods and their burgers, and wash it all down with Coca-Cola. Well, it's going to have an effect now, you know. I've talked to many doctors.
I'd invite both of you to watch the movie In Defense of Food. I don't know if either of you read the book. It was by the food writer from the New York Times. What was his name? But In Defense of Food was actually a movie based on the book done by PBS, where he talks about these issues and the whole idea of that we need to eat food, mostly plants and not too much.
Yeah. And again, the right kind of seeds, because it's called travesty. Where people, you know, Monsanto, I believe, is one of the great criminals on the planet. They've developed Agent Orange, a number of synthetic sugars, and apparently the body is not capable of dealing with fructose corn syrup.
High fructose corn syrup. Mm-hmm.
Right. And it looks like maybe 90% of the corn is now genetically modified, and something like 85% of the soy is genetically modified. And the travesty is that we need to have those foods labeled so that the consumer can decide whether he wants to buy this GMO food or not, you know?
Totally, yeah.
Yeah,
and it's a shame that what I'm seeing that right now, if you see the GMOs, I think United States is like one of those very few countries who are not taking any action on GMO. I lived in Europe, I was in India, and I know India is changing, but at least in Europe, if there is anything GMO, it will be written in a big way, but actually you will not find so easily to GMO foods. But even if you find, and it is like really big, mentioned in big alphabets that this is GMO, and you should, there's a caution, and I totally agree. Being a scientist, I know right now we don't have enough evidence about, the GMO is bad for you, but it doesn't mean that in the next 20 years we will not have any evidence about GMO. Any time you play with the genes and you modify them, being a scientist, I know there will be always repercussions. There will be always some kind of side effects which will be associated with allergies, why there are so many allergies out here in the U.S., which is as compared to other countries, and it is something that we are eating wrong food. Either it's because of the chemicals, either it's because of the processing, either it's because of modifying the genes. We have to, I would say the best approach to deal with this is to go with the most natural way of eating, like growing things which are like without fertilizers. I would say try to go more encouraging biofertilizers. This is something where we can have a massive crop production along with not without insecticides, without pesticides. This could be something where we should focus on, and I'm sure. We will see the results. We want to, and it's good for the environment. It's good for our water bodies. Like I know Alexandra is so much into taking Earth as something like where we want to keep our planet Earth to be happy, and this is one of the way we can keep our water bodies happy, our soil happy, ourselves happy, our kids happy, by eating right, by taking care of our environment. As you said, it's using the right seeds because we have the seed bank. It's about going an extra step and planting the right seed so that we have the right crop.
To use, where possible, legacy seeds, like the Hopi corn is really hardy. The Hopi corn, the Hopi in Mexico.
How it is called? Please say it again.
Hopi.
Oh, okay.
Legacy.
To be honest,
I just need to interrupt right here and tell you that we are no longer broadcasting live, but this is going into the archive. But the broadcasting part of our show is over, and we might want to wrap this up pretty soon here because I'm not sure exactly when they'll cut us off. They do let us go a little bit over, but we are over our original air time.
Okay.
So, Alexandra, would you like to kind of ask everybody for the closing statements, and then we'll wrap this up?
Yeah. I would like to thank everybody for joining us this evening and afternoon. We are sending our a pulse, a healing pulse, to those who were in this the hurricane and also the intense heat that you guys are having in California. And as Janet said, it is time for divine intervention. We have forces of love and light helping us. On a positive note, at the first of the month, the Physicians Committee starts their 21-day healthy living program. It's free. We wanted to have a giveaway today, and they have a free phone app, and it's Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, and you could start today. Today's the first, or definitely take a look at those resources. And it's a 21-day program.
I have one announcement. I got one announcement.
Go ahead.
There is a replay this week of a very important program, again, on GMOs. This is the best program you will ever see on it. I would like to send the email of this. It's a free 9 episodes for free to watch. You don't want to miss them, okay? Who do I send this information to?
Send it to me. Send it to me, aquarianradio@gmail.com, and I will put the link up on the show page. The link for this show that you can grab and download and put up on all your social networks will be available in a few minutes. I think it takes about 10 minutes after the show is over for it to refresh. And so I would like to invite our panel, if you have any YouTubes, anything you want me to put up there to put on the show page. Look at your bio. It's on aquarianradio.com. Take a look at the bios I grabbed for you. aquarianradio.com. I keep an archive. We've been broadcasting like 6 years now, and I have all the shows in archives. And so, and then we will take this show and put it up on YouTube and other places. And everybody out there, please take this link and pass it around on your social networks. Let's get the word out to the world and make it a better place for me and you and the entire human race. This is very important information. I want to invite all our wonderful guests back for a future show. If you want to make sure you send me your basic information at Aquarian Radio to aquarianradio@gmail.com, so I'll have you in my database. And and anytime you want to come on, shoot me an email and say, hey, I'd like to come on again, and we'll put you on the schedule. I think that's all I want to say. Alexandra, do you have any final words, or anybody else have any final words?
Mark,
it would be great. It would be great if you had. again, Janet, it would be great if we had a chance to answer any questions from listeners. Some way that we could do that, okay?
Okay, so listeners, send your questions to aquarianradio@gmail.com, and do let me know who you would like to answer the questions. And my panelists, make sure you send me an email and let me know. I do a lot of email or texting. Phone calls tend to get too lengthy because I talk too much. But we will address these questions. We'll do some future shows. We got a lot of time to get this out there. Let's do it, and answer your questions and see what resources you need, and put it into doable steps. What can we do individually and collectively?
Great, yeah. I just want to also add, like what Alexandra has mentioned, that for the listeners, for our audience, the 21-day Kickstart program starts like first of every month, and you can register at www.21daykickstart.org. Again, 21daykickstart.org. So this is a great program, free program, and please register, and you will get recipes and nutrition information and forum to chat. So all healthy things for you for the next 21 days, and you will see the effects of a healthy plant-based eating. Thank you.
Wonderful.
So that's the number 21, right? Number 21, day?
Number 21.
2-1. Yeah. Okay.
2-1.
Good. Thank you.
And I'll follow up.
Go ahead, Alexandra.
Oh, I'll make sure, Mark, that Dr. Ali, you have the information from the Tower Garden Juice Plus folks, because I think you'll have fun, and your kids will definitely have fun.
I think definitely, yeah. And I think that we can continue this this kind of conversation, maybe by continuing by email or anything, because it will be good to join hands for future projects or something we can discuss. We can brainstorm.
Great conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, I'll look for another date down the line. We can have another show. Alexandra, thank you for being my co-host today. You're awesome. Very good show. Very good job. Thank you. Take it away, Alexandra. When you're done, I will play some exit music.
Okay.
Okay.
I wish everybody a safe and relaxing weekend, and all the best for the wonderful work that everybody is contributing. And thank you, Janet, for a wonderful show.
Yeah, thank you, Janet. Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Much love and blessings and aloha.